A lot of people hear company store and they think it's just a Shopify link where employees go to buy hoodies, t-shirts, and all this other stuff. But you and I both know from doing this for 6 years for you, a little over 2 years for myself, that that's not what a well-built store actually does. And how do you define the role of a company store when it's done?
When it's done right, it actually improves the overall excitement of an employee when they can go to a link and purchase merchandise that is branded that they want to wear. Then they are actually excited about the company.
Yep.
They're elevating the company because they get to wear really cool things that aren't given to them necessarily. They get to choose, and they're excited about it. But a company store isn't necessarily just for companies, for businesses. It goes so much beyond that, for sure.
That's one of the biggest misconceptions of this entire industry, and that's why we started this podcast, Beyond the Swag, with the tag merches media. We are so far past the days of being able to just throw your logo on stuff. Everything that we create represents your business, and if we can create things that people want to wear, whether it is our employees, whether it is our friends, whether it is customers, whether it is the community, if people like what they're wearing, then they're going to wear it. And when they're wearing it, they're representing your company out in the world. Welcome to Beyond the Swag. Merch is Media, the podcast where we go beyond logos, giveaways, and leftover budgets and talk about how branded merchandise actually functions as marketing, media, and brand experience. On this show, we sit down with founders, operators, and brand leaders to unpack the real decisions behind the brands you see. What works, what doesn't, and how the details people overlook often make the biggest impact. I'm your host, Kevin Patrick. This is Beyond the Swag. On today's show, I'm excited to have Dana Cardinas from One Stop Promotional Products, who brings a vast majority and knowledge to the company store game. We've been doing this for over 6 years, running 200 plus stores through her business. I'm excited to have you today, Dana, to really get into the power of company stores and how businesses can utilize them, and kind of talk about the myth that everybody really thinks what they are and what they really can be and how they can effectively grow their businesses. So Dana, thank you for being on today's show.
I'm excited to be here, excited to be one of the first on your new podcast. And I love the concept of the podcast. So I'm excited.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, I could tell through all of our messages how excited you were, and I was like, all right, I need to get her on. She's more excited than I am about this, but awesome. So we'll get right into it. A lot of people hear company store and they think it's just a Shopify link where, you know, employees go to buy hoodies, t-shirts, and all this other stuff. But you and I both know from doing this for, 6 years for you, a little over 2 years for myself, that that's not what a well-built store actually does. And before we go tactical, how do you define the role of a company store when it's done right?
When it's done right, it actually improves the overall excitement of an employee when they can go to a link and purchase merchandise that is branded that they want to wear. Then they are actually excited about the company. They're elevating the company because they get to wear really cool things that aren't given to them necessarily. They get to choose, and they're excited about it. But a company store isn't necessarily just for companies, for businesses. It goes so much beyond that, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you nailed it right on the head when you said they want to wear it.
Yeah, they want to wear it.
And that's one of the biggest misconceptions of this entire industry. And that's why we started this podcast, Beyond the Swag, with the tag merches media, is we are so far past, and we talked about this a little bit before the show, we are so far past the days of being able to just throw your logo on stuff. Everything that we
Oh, yeah.
create represents your business. And if we can create things that people want to wear, whether it is our employees, whether it
Right.
is our friends, whether it is customers, whether it is the community, if people like what they're wearing, then they're going to wear it. And
Right.
when they're wearing it, they're representing your company out in the world.
Right.
And we see that. You look at Nike, you look at Coca-Cola, you look at all these big brands that create little things that we all wear, not even thinking about what brand we're representing, but we like the shirt.
Right.
We like the how comfortable it is, how it
Sure.
fits us. We
Yeah.
like the design on it, even though we could care less about the actual company. But they're wearing it, and every time we wear that, we're representing the company that is out there. And you
Mhm.
nailed it right on the head. That if we can create things that people want to wear and
Right.
show the excitement
Or use.
or
Like,
use or
whether
use
that be mouse pads, whether that be headphones, whether that be, it doesn't matter what it is, but if somebody chose it and they're excited about it, well, then every time they're using it, they're promoting your brand or that company's brand or that event, whatever it might be. And it's free advertising basically at that point for the company or the event. And so I think that's the important thing. I think companies need to look at is, well, I want to offer this to my employees for numerous reasons. It's a revenue generator.
for sure.
You know, you're at the grocery store and you're standing in line with a really cool jacket that you got off your company store and somebody sees it. One, they see, ooh, that's a nice jacket. And they will then combine that nice jacket with the logo they see on it. Oh, that must be a good company because it's a nice jacket. And it's crazy how that works, but it's the psychology of it.
Yeah, and I mean, I saw we created a custom golf polo for a Ronald McDonald House charity in New York,
Mm.
and I saw somebody wearing the polo in Florida.
Yeah,
It was really cool for me because I was like, wait a minute,
that
I'm
is
nowhere
cool.
near New York, and here it
That's
is, and I had
cool.
to like walk close, like discreetly past this guy to like make sure it was my polo
I've done that a few times.
um before I said something, and it was like this guy was wearing it hundreds, if not thousands, really, of miles away, and it was like,
Right.
where did you get that? And but he wore it past the event, and that's going beyond the hey, we need something for this event or we need something for our employees, and we're just going to create something, and we're going to force our employees to wear it. Like
Right.
there's a difference between company uniforms, which you should still have this concept
Right.
of like we're making our employees wear this every single day. We want it to be something that they want to wear and not cause rashes and
Yeah.
all
Be
this other stuff.
uncomfortable.
But,
Yeah.
having them want to wear stuff outside. I mean, we think about it all the time. How many times, families, a mom or a dad leave their job and go right to picking up their kid from school and taking them to a
Yeah.
sporting event. They don't have time to go
Right.
home and change out of
Right.
their uniform or whatever. And now that's out there. And you said, it's not just wear, it's use. Right, you think of a local a plumbing
Mhm.
company, and I'm sitting here and I'm drinking coffee, and they gave me this really nice big, coffee cup that keeps my drink warm, and I love it. I'm using it now. When I need a plumbing, what am I like? Who am I thinking of? The company that's right there on my favorite coffee cup that I'm probably
Exactly.
drinking of during the day when I realize I need,
Exactly.
a new plumbing company. So always keeping those things in mind. I want to think about from orders to infrastructure. When you look at how most companies start stores with you versus how your best clients end up using them,
Mm.
what changes?
What changes is when a company first starts using an online store with us, if they've never had one before, they don't really understand the functionality of it and the ease. I think in the beginning, they think, oh, it'll just be a couple of items and I'll probably never use it, but it's good to at least get this first order of polos done. But when they see what we build out for them, because they may say, hey, I just need a polo and a vest. okay, great. That's exactly what we're going to put on there. But then we're also going to add in a hat, a jacket, probably a couple of other items that fit that industry. And the next thing you know, they're like, I had no idea. And they hit it over and over. And then they come back and say, hey, can you add this? Can you add that? And so it's the ease of being able to brand things without having to go through multiple emails, multiple text messages, a phone call, an order form,
Yeah.
or being having to go to maybe those larger online places, and what they get back quality wise isn't what they were expecting. And so they get super excited about it.
Yeah.
Like
And we see
crazy
it all the time in the
excited.
industry. You go to the big dogs, and I mean, they're the big dogs for a reason, but they care about volume.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
they get your, 10 color logo, and they're
Mhm.
going to print it however it needs to be printed to get it out the door. And they're
Yeah.
going to charge you whatever they need to charge you. And while we understand how easy it is sometimes to order directly through their site that's built custom for
Right.
them versus coming to a small company like you or I, when you get your shirt and your logo fades because it was a direct to garment print, and you're
Right.
not used to that because you've done one color prints but your local shop before, but you're like, hey, let's do full color this time, or it starts to peel and crack, or
Right.
it washes out. Like, they don't care. They're gonna be
Yeah.
like, oh, well, you washed it wrong. Like,
Right.
you
Right.
being able to have that communication with somebody, and you nailed it right on the head when, what problem do stores actually remove? And it's the ease of being able to order, whether it's an employee ordering something that they want or it's your team ordering
Right.
what they need, is being able to put in approved items that management ownership has already approved. That now, whether we're ordering one of them or we're ordering 1,000 of them, there is no email back and forth. There is no,
Right.
hey, can we order the, polos? Exactly. Hey, no, go there, go
Yeah.
to our
Order
store
it. Yeah.
and order it. This is
Right.
exactly, and now there's always going to be one offs and like new things that we want to, put
Right.
on for the first time. There's always
Yeah.
going to be those things. But it's like, hey, a new hire comes in. And this is going back to breaking the myth of it's just a Shopify link with, ordering the products. A new hire comes in. Okay, HR can go in
Mm-hmm.
and order the new hire kit.
Yeah.
And, Kevin's Excel, okay, we order 2 t-shirts, 2 long sleeves, 2 hoodies, and a hat, whatever the new hire
Yeah.
kit is.
Yeah.
And boom. And if you work with a company, that gets drop shipped right to Kevin. And, there's nothing you have to do. And it's like,
Right.
okay, here's the t-shirts that we know every single employee is going to
Mm-hmm.
wear. People don't want the storage closets no more. They don't want junk laying around and laying
No.
around. And,
Right.
we order
No.
100 shirts and now we have, 15 2Xs because we thought maybe a couple 2Xs were going to come in, or now we
Mm-hmm.
have smalls left over, or, we don't have anybody that's a small, but we ordered 10 just in case, and they're sitting
Right.
around. And,
Right.
next thing you know, we went through a brand change, and like, nobody wants to deal with that anymore.
Right. Right.
Unless we're working on, with certain things, then, maybe it makes sense. But there's also, you have companies that store it for you. And I think you hit on it, but I want to reiterate, what do companies underestimate their value early on company stores?
It's honestly, I personally think value wise, it's one of the best things that they could have in their toolbox for time, saving time, literally, usually resources too, as well, financial resources. Because when we create stores, there are going to be some items that they might think are going to be way expensive. So let me not even look at it. But because of the way we kind of create our items, the way we look at them, we will probably be maybe $1 or two more than if you went to a bigger like online thing. But the fact that they're supporting a small business, they get excited about that. They would rather support a small business to
Yeah.
see you grow, to help you grow. But so far, we found that pricing wise, with just about anything we do, we are priced better than those bigger online
Yep.
retailers. And
There's one that I
so,
know of just immediately that we're probably all priced underneath, and I'm not going to mention them or call them out.
yeah.
But no, and I think the
And
thing
we're
too
not
with
going
smaller,
cheap. Right.
what's that?
We're not cheaping out on us. We're making money. We're
Yeah,
making plenty of money.
yeah,
But it just doesn't make sense to take an item that we are going to make a good chunk of money on, but make it so ridiculously expensive that they're never going to buy it.
yeah. And I think too is working with the small businesses, you always know that you can call them
Yes. It's
and
personal.
actually talk to somebody who knows what is going on.
Yes. It's personal.
And,
Yeah.
while maybe they don't answer the phone right away, hopefully that they do. But they're a small business and, they don't have this whole call center customer service team. But,
Right.
chances are they're going to get back to you first chance that they have if they did not answer your call. But you're going to get somebody that knows what is going on, knows where
Yes.
your order process is, what's the delay, what's
Yes.
going on, talk you through the decoration methods and what is the best scenario or best way to decorate the product that you're going to select
Yeah. And I
and
think
have those
we
conversations.
found it's even the other way too. When we get their logos and they say, okay, we want it embroidered, and you look at that logo and you're like, there's no way that's going to look good embroidered. We can call them or email them and say, hey, look, with our experience, this is not going to look good when it's embroidered, even though you think it will. We need to simplify the logo or change things up a little bit and actually have a conversation with them instead of just doing it. And then the product they get back is, horrible.
Yeah.
They paid for it, but they're not going to get a refund because with a big box, it just doesn't work that way. But with us, at least we're spotting stuff and saying, hey, wait, yeah, you don't want to do that, but let's try this instead. Or we've got options. We can make it look really good, stand out, but let's change a few things, without compromising their actual look and brand.
Absolutely. And we started touching on it a little bit, but that's stores as an operation engine, not just a swag closet. And one thing I keep seeing in stores quietly is stores quietly becoming an operational backbone. Approvals,
Yeah.
budgets, roles, fulfillment rules.
Right.
How intentional are you about designing stores as systems instead of catalogs? Because our industry forever was just throwing catalogs at people. Hey,
Right.
I need t-shirts. Here's our t-shirt catalog. Pick what you want.
Right.
How intentional are you in how you are working with these clients and designing these stores to be that system of, hey, these are our t-shirts. Hey, these are our hoodies. These are our polos. These are our folders, our business cards, our magnets.
So it's so interesting that you say that because we actually don't look at it from a standpoint of these are our t-shirts. We get information. They've got to answer questions of what they like. What do you like? What do you not like? Because just because my favorite t-shirt might be a Bella 3001, it doesn't mean that's what they're going to like.
Yeah.
They might really want a 50-50 because of what they do. Okay, well then I'm going to give you a 50-50. I'm going to give you 100% ring spun. I'm going to give you whatever it is that you want, not what my go-to thing is. Now, if they come at me and say, we only wear Gildan. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. And that's no, like,
They're
I'm not
not
saying
going
anything.
Gildan. Yeah.
I'm not saying anything bad about Gildan because there are some great products in Gildan, but in the long term, because honestly, we wear a lot of the things that we put on stores. So we know longevity. What's it going to look like when it washes? What's it going to look like when you throw it in a hot dryer? All of that stuff. So we're taking all of that into account. So we're having conversations with them about what they wear, what they like, what they don't like. So we don't have catalogs of t-shirts. We get asked that, hey, can you send me a catalog of your t-shirt? And I can tell when somebody asks that, they've worked with other distributors before that
Yeah.
did just send them catalogs. And it's like, we don't have that. Tell me what you like.
They just, they're the, and there's
Yeah.
plenty of them out there because that's what this industry has always been is someone reaches out, you reach out to me and say, hey, we need to order t-shirts. The immediate response is what type of t-shirt, how many, what's your logo,
Right.
and when do you need it?
Right. Exactly.
That's it. And
Okay.
it has to be more than that. And for those of you that are listening, I highly encourage you go watch the episode with Eric Withar from Premium Custom Products, where we dove into the importance of garment selection, and where same thing with just choosing the garment, also looking at your logo and how we need to put your logo and your logo going on the garment. Those two things right there need to go together.
Right.
You've talked about it with, things that can't be embroidered.
Right.
We see it all the time where, people want waterproof jackets embroidered. And it's like, well, no, you really shouldn't do that because now it's not waterproof anymore. And while there's certain
Right.
things that we can try to do from a decorator standpoint, it's still never going to be waterproof anymore. And
Cool.
so please go check out that episode to see exactly what Dana's talking about the garment selection. We are so far
Yeah.
past the 100% cotton, days.
Well,
We
and
have polyester, we have moisture wicking, we have blends and,
there's
and multiple blends. Like,
and the concept of brands. There's so many cool brands out there that people don't know that are great quality and really perfect for, let's say, a professional workwear. Or one of our favorites is Mercer and Metal through Sandmark
yep.
for their business casual, their business professional. The people who get those polos on love them, but they've never heard of them before. And so that's why we have conversations with our customers. We do not have catalogs. That's to me sounds crazy. I can't even imagine.
And it's funny because I'll never forget. I think this was going back to last year. We same thing with us. We talk to every single person, and some people are multiple emails back and forth because they don't want to hop on a phone, and that's okay.
Sure.
Like, some people aren't phone people, but I'll never forget. I called a construction company and wanted to discuss what he was looking for. I saw the logo, and he's like, "Why are you calling me? I've never had an apparel person call me before."
Right.
And I was like, well, play it off. I'm like, well, that's why we're different. We care about the end quality, and
Right.
pass the conversation along. He understood, and we went through the decoration methods and how we're going to do that. And, he made changes, and he was thankful for us calling him instead of just taking the order. And, we're not, I always tell my team here is like, hey, we're not about, hey, we need to service 1 million clients. If we got 500 clients that, order X amount of dollars a year, fine. If we have 100 clients that order X amount of dollars and we're all making money and we can support our families and make a good living, fine. I don't care, because we're not just the order takers. We look at things from a different standpoint. I want to go back into the stores as a system. When the system, when they're done right and we have a great store, who inside the company benefits most from a good store? Is it HR? Is it the marketing ops? Is it
HR and
every
marketing.
company's going to be different? Not everybody has HR.
Number one, HR, number two, marketing, because they're the ones when you're dealing with corporate stores. So we have setups, we have different setups. We will create, let's say for a company, we may create a corporate store where that store is going to have your new hire kits, your business cards, your, let's say, discounts on the volume purchases for, let's say, polos or long sleeve button downs, hats, whatever it might be. And then we'll have the employee store where the employee will purchase the items, but there's no like business cards or other swag type items on there. It's literally just apparel. And then a caveat to that, we are also in-house decorators. So that makes it like for our turnaround, we can get those things, the apparel out really quick simply because we make it in-house. But the idea of having the two different stores, huge time saver for HR, because if they need an employee, let's say they are supplying a certain part of their uniform up front, then they say, okay, if you need more, go to this link. And there's no back and forth. There's no, where do I get a thing? Where do I buy this polo? Where do I get this hat? Boom, it's right here.
Absolutely. Yeah. We've seen it with our, we've had ones where we built out and had, different divisions within the store where it's like, hey, you basically get access to what you're allowed access to. HR
Yeah.
has their own things of what they can do. And you said it, HR and marketing. And
Marketing.
really, if you look at a successful store, and we have it in our playbook here that we're launching very, very shortly, is everyone benefits from a company store,
Yeah.
right? HR is going to benefit because of new hire kits and being able to get new employees stuff. And, hey, we need more business cards and we need, X, Y, and Z. Marketing loves company stores because it's like, hey, we approved these t-shirts. We approved these
Right.
hoodies.
Right.
Marketing's all about brand, right?
Right.
All about our brand. Are we using our logo the correct way? Are our colors the correct, are being used correctly?
Right.
Are we sizing things correctly? CMOs and marketing directors, they're all about branding. So
Right.
if they can approve things once and now they know every time we order, it's
consistent.
it's going to be consistent. Marketing professionals love it. Ops
Yeah.
guys and admin, they both love it because it's easy.
Yeah.
We don't need
It's
to
easy.
think about, we don't need to send, emails back and forth. And you've said it, and I can't stress it enough. Every time someone emails, hey, can we order those polos? That's a broken system.
Totally.
And it's just
Yeah.
wasting people's time. It's wasting your internal time. There's not many. And if there are people, I'm sure there are some people whose sole job is to deal with the merchandise inside some of these corporate companies. But, people aren't hired. We joke about it all the time that like, we're like fractional swag officers for, like we're an extension of like your marketing team, right? We're your merch guys. This is what we're here to deal with because nobody within your company job is to handle merchandise.
Yeah.
So if I got to sit here and email you back and forth 25 times, one, as a distributor, my margins are going down with how much time I'm spending on this.
Right.
But also you're not getting what you're actually getting paid to do done because you're focusing on things that could easily just be thrown. And I don't want to say easily just be thrown in the store. There is processes behind that. But once they're in the store, they're there, they're done with, and they're ready to be used and ordered like that.
Yeah.
And it's all through the same person. You're getting the same quality because you're dealing with the same company.
Same thing
going
over
to
and
take
over
care
again.
of it over and over and over again. And I think we've kind of killed the myth here that stores aren't just for employees.
No.
What are some of the most exciting or unexpected use cases you've seen in stores?
It's usually events. It has nothing to do with companies. It's events. Like I have a store open right now. It has one product on it.
Yeah.
And it is for a fundraiser. And that's it. I mean, it's nothing fancy. It's nothing splashy. And that's the thing about these stores. Doesn't matter what platform you decide to use. We use Inksoft, but it's about the user friendly aspect of the store. It's got to be easy. So yeah, it's our fundraisers and our events are way more fun to build because company stores, like everything has to stay on brand. There's only certain things you can put in there, usually that, all approved things. But when we're talking about events, spiritware stores, that kind of stuff, that's where we can have fun. We can play, we can do different stuff. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think the biggest thing here is stores are not just for ordering swag.
No.
They can be customized to whatever you need them to be.
Yeah.
And promotional products are used in every single business. And if you're not using promotional products, I strongly advise you to start. I think people, they look at promotional products as, apparel, right? Cups or, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, even some drinkware and stuff like that. They don't necessarily put it in with, the folders or the envelopes or the letterheads.
Well, one of our stores right now, all it has in there is yard signs. That's it.
Yep.
Yard signs.
And all of these things are put into a system. Like they are systems. And I love talking to people about, well, we need to create you an apparel system or a promo system. And they're like, what do you mean? Like these are products. I'm like, yeah, but these can still be, again, put into the store. And the system is, hey, we're, every single client, every single roof that we do, we're going to put a yard sign for 2 weeks, or we're going to put, hang tags on all the neighbors' doors, or, whatever the case may be. And being
Right.
able to, have those things. And again, the ease of, hey, this is where we go. This is the approved yard sign. This is the approved, thing. And yeah, things are going to change and we're going to make it, edits and stuff like
Yeah,
that, but that's okay. But every single employee knows where management or ownership wants you to go. And
exactly.
now obviously, everybody has their own chain of command of who can order stuff and stuff like that, but that can all be built into the store. Like I
Right.
said, we have a store right now where it's divisions, where there's 4 divisions, and within their division, they have the ability to order only what they're allowed to have access to.
Yeah.
And there's even on the back end notifications that, someone can't just come in and buy all the pens because they have, 5 conferences coming up and wipe out the stock for everybody else. Like, so there are things like that, but it can be customized so much more. And at that point, the store stops being merch and starts acting like, a company's media channel.
Yeah, and it almost acts like another employee at times, because it's serving as your I love the word system. I love that, but it's the thing or the person, if you want to personify it, that is housing your new hire kits, your branded merchandise, the things that you go to on a regular basis to market your company or clothe your employees. It's there. It's sitting there. It never goes away. In our stores, we don't turn off. So
Yeah.
it's not a bulk buy situation and then the store closes unless it's a fundraiser. Usually fundraisers are that way for us. But otherwise, it's literally there 24/7. And
Yeah.
as I say in networking meetings to other business professionals, we create this and then you can shop it at 2 a.m. in your underwear if you want to. I mean,
Yeah.
it's there always.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think the biggest thing is it's controlled, right? It's not chaos. And I think one thing leaders don't talk about enough is the brand drift. Like the different logos, the different vendors, the different
Yeah.
colors, even though we give, like, I love clients that come to me and they're like, here's our brand guide. I'm like, oh, you,
Love that.
like, thank you. And I talked about this in the last
Mhm.
episode, but if you do not have a brand guide, I know, like, there's people, I mean, there's all different costs to it.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a brand guide, then I firmly suggest you and your company
Do
look
it.
into it,
Right.
because
Yeah.
it allows
It's
anybody
so
that
much
works with
easier.
your brand to know exactly what you expect from
Right.
colors, from fonts, from the
Right.
way we utilize your logos. And as people, as decorators and as promotional, experts, we love that, because now there's no question. Again, that also eliminates the back and forth, back and forth, and
Yeah.
back and forth.
What color royal is this? What color yellow is this?
Yeah.
Can I use black and gold? All of those
And please, please,
questions.
please use Pantone colors. Please decorate based off of Pantone colors. Please create your logo off of Pantone colors. I can't say it enough.
And please give me a vector logo.
And I got into that in our last episode with Eric, the importance of vector artwork
Yes.
and why we stress, importance of artwork. But, the brand drift of different logos, vendors, colors, and even pricing, like, that all goes away when we create a company store and we put all of our products in there.
Right.
We're dealing with one vendor. I talk about it all the time, and I jokingly changed my email signature to Chief Swag Officer.
Mhm.
And, again, like this, like, we joke this fractional position, but we view ourselves as an extension of your team. How can we simplify everything
Mhm.
and deal with and work with you? And again, you tell us what you want. We put it together. We put it into your store. We get it made, and we get it to you for when you need it.
Right.
And you need more, great. You need to talk about something or figure out what the best case is, great. And stores solve that brand drift, which makes marketing professionals happy. which
Yes.
makes ownership happy because you spend so much money on branding and marketing. And I can't stand, it's the whole reason I launched this podcast, watching people then just blow money on cheap, inefficient promo that doesn't reflect the company that they've just spent thousands, if not
hmm
tens of thousands, if not millions of dollars branding.
Yeah. Well, and I will flip this to a little different use of a company store. We use them at times to actually get the company. So I read it all the time in our promo groups. People talk about pitch decks. And I'm like, my gosh, I can't even imagine creating a pitch deck when I can literally create a company store and send that link to the decision maker or HR or whoever it might be and say, hey, do you need these things and do you need them right now? I just created this for you. You can shop it right now and we can get it going, like literally apparel in your hands in 5 days. And it like over and over and over, it wins every time. And then they come back and say, ooh, that's awesome. Can you do this? Can we add this? And it always leads to more. What we don't do is put certain, like a lot of items there for a while that were changing prices like crazy. Like we did not put that stuff on their stores, but we let them know if you need bulk swag, like I must throw this out there, pins. If you need bulk swag pins, let us know. We still make that process easy, but I don't like putting it on right now again until prices completely normalize and I don't have to check on a regular basis to see if it's still the correct price.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff we don't put on stores, but we still make that process super easy for them.
Absolutely. And I think, for things like that, a lot of times it's, pens aren't one of those things just because that's the product you talked about where we're kind of ordering on demand. They're one of those things where, hey, we are ordering in bulk. And, we see for those types of products, we're utilizing those where we're storing them for our client. It's like, okay, hey, we got 5,000 pens. And in the store, it's one of those things, again, for people that have the ability to create or to order those products to where they can log in and say, okay, hey, we're going to this trade show. We need, 1,000 pens. Okay, great. They order 1,000 pens. Nobody's paying for it because it's already been paid for, but they're sitting here ready to go and we have them bundled in, whatever we work with the client. I don't let them just say, hey, you can order by one. No, you're ordering by fives or tens so we can pre-put these together and we're not counting 1,000 pens out every single time. But, having that ability to mix and match as well. And again, that goes down to creating the store and how can we customize it to fit what the end client needs the store for. It's not a set it and forget it. It is essentially a custom website built for your promotional needs that assist your marketing efforts every single day. And it is not just, hey, throw all the products on, there's one page and you scroll and say, no. We can create these things to where it's like HR logs into HR and they have all the HR needs. Employees can go in and get the extra stuff that they don't get, gifted.
And I will
even like awards and anniversary gifts and all that kind of stuff can be put in there. People don't utilize that stuff as much. And I know we have it, for some of our stores automated to where, every first year they get this gift.
Yes.
Every 5 year they get this gift.
Yeah.
And we have it automated and, we can always go in, but it's set it and forget it.
Yeah.
Like we put everybody's birthdays and stuff like that. And every year we have it automated. That's like, okay, in March every year, I think it is, we have our companies, they select this year's Christmas gift or end of the year gift for employees or for vendors or clients or whatever the case may be. And we deal with it in March and they forget about it. And then next thing you know, they're emailing and you're like, oh, thanks for sending all this out. Well, it's like, we did that 9 months ago.
Go us.
Like awesome. No problem. That's what we're here for. But these are all things that can go in and is customized to who needs it. It's customized to how your business works, not how our business works.
Right.
It's how
Right.
your business works.
And that's the biggest thing is really getting to know your customer. That I will say that is how we've grown so quickly.
Yeah.
So, in a short amount of time, is that we create relationships with our businesses, our customers, so that it is not just a transaction. It's never been just a transaction. So we're finding out from them, what do they want? And then getting that on the stores. Now, if you're a distributor or a Promo Products Pro listening to this, and have you been on the fence about stores? It is the number one business builder for us, plain and simple. And when a company says, you can build me a company store, and we don't charge for it. Some people do, and that's okay. You totally can. We just don't. It's a part of our business model. When we tell them that we can build a company store, they love it. They're excited about it. And that's not just the big airlines that need the company stores. We have a company store for a one-man AC company. Like, he still needs to buy branded merchandise.
Yep.
For us, we don't care how big or how much is going to be sold on that store, because it's no difference if we're going to build him a company store versus an airline a company store. The airline's going to have more items, but
Sure.
it's still the same process. We're still going through the same things. And at the end of the day, it achieves the same concept where we're helping this solo entrepreneur grow in the same way that we're helping the large companies grow.
Sure. And you said it earlier, and I didn't want to cut you off. You said, not about the transactions. And I tell every single person that I work with, I tell every single person within the company, I don't care about transactions. I'm not here for transactions.
Right.
And people were like, BS. And I'm like, no, like, obviously we need to make money. We need transactions to do revenue and make a living, but I'm not here. I don't care about the transactions. I've turned people away. I had a client drop almost $10,000 on their first order. I delivered it. And the first thing that I said to him after I said thank you was, unfortunately, I can no longer be your vendor.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get into the reasonings and all behind that. But it knew his expectations to the reality behind everything were not in alignment. And this is somebody that, again, just spent almost $10,000 on their first order. And probably would be a very good client. And it could be a very good client for somebody else, or maybe for multiple people, because they see what I see. But, I don't care about the transactions. I care about the relationships.
Yes.
We here at KP Innovations, and it sounds like you guys are the same. Like, we don't necessarily want the person that's going to order once and never order again.
Yeah, no, we
want the people that we can build
repeat.
long-lasting relationships with, that we can, again, help them, guide them to what they can possibly do.
Yes.
When you started talking about other distributors, so I want to ask you this next question. What's one mistake that you see distributors or even brands make when launching stores, and what would you fix first?
One of two things. Okay,
Sure.
I see two things. They put too much on a store, and it's confusing. It's overwhelming. And so that psychological moment of getting to check out and checking out never happens, because there's too many decisions to make. And so they make no decision.
Yeah.
So that's number one. And number two is creating stores where they have to work harder to get to the end result. Meaning multiple clicks. I've got to go here to look at this product. I've got to go here to look at this like, condense it, make it easy, and make it as simple and really basic as possible. Don't make it fancy. You don't need a custom built website with all the bells and whistles and the more simple, the more basic the background, the more 1, 2 click, I'm done, I'm out, boom, I just made the purchase. They're going to see more sales.
Yeah.
So don't put too much thought into it, is what I'm saying. Don't make it, keep it simple.
And if you do have a lot of products, Because, there are some big companies that, they do have a lot of different things. You need to simplify and make it easy to get to where you are looking for.
Yes.
Have a navigation bar, pen.
Yes.
Okay, boom. T-shirts, hoodies, apparel, have drop downs. Like,
Yes.
simplify the process so it's not just here's, all 1,000 products. Nobody's got time for that.
No.
If we could fast forward 3 to 5 years from now, what role do you think company stores play inside modern brands?
Oh, I think they've been there. They are integral to the process, but I think AI is going to play a huge role in how they look, because I think we're going to see more movement in stores, meaning you want to see what that shirt looks like 360, and it literally turns and moves, and it's got an ability to match the vibe of the company versus just a flat, screen with different mock-ups on it. I think I kind of see that happening.
Yeah.
But it's still a part of the company. It is, without a doubt. It's just probably a bigger part of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we're moving from store to ecosystem, and most companies just don't realize it yet. And can't stress enough how simple company stores are for people. If you've been debating whether or not you guys need it, whether it's a company that does charge it, and even if or doesn't charge for it, and even if it is a company that does charge you for it, looking at how much time are we wasting just trying to order the necessities for our business, our employee uniforms, our marketing materials, our tablecloths, our tents, like all of that stuff. How much time are we wasting trying to go through approval processes and, simplifying that? And next thing you know, this product that we had 4 weeks to get, it took 2 weeks to get approval. Now we need to pay a rush fee to get the product made or expedited shipping. And now our costs are double, if not triple, if not more, because it took all this time versus 4 weeks ago. We could have clicked order because we already knew what management, ownership, and marketing, had approved for us. And this is exactly why we say merch is media. When stores are built intentionally, they don't just move products, they move culture, consistency, and brand.
Yes.
Dana, thank you so much for being on this as
you.
the company store pro. I learned a lot. I hope the listeners have learned a lot as well to how to successfully utilize stores. And if you do have a store, maybe this struck some ideas for you, and you can realize changes that you need to make or add on to what you have, or maybe it's one of those things where you need to blow it up and start all over because you realize what you're doing wrong.
And that's okay.
Absolutely. It is okay. I've blown up our website plenty of times before I finally got to something.
Our first company stores were horrible, but they worked, but they were horrible. But we've been doing it we started company stores 5 years ago. So a year after we started, it was this makes sense. Let's do it. So we've gotten to be pretty good at it by now.
For sure. Awesome. Well, Dana, again, thank you for joining today's episode. That wraps up this episode of Beyond the Swag, Merch is Media. If this conversation made you think differently about how your brand shows up, that's the point. Because merch isn't just a product, it's a message and it's media. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who should hear it. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, Kevin Patrick, and I'll see you on the next episode of Beyond the Swag.